So I just made a choice. I would let the fear in, let it take over, let it do its thing, but only for 5 seconds. That's all I was going to give it. Welcome, everybody, to Podcast of the Rings.
1, 2.
Okay, can we talk about how everybody looks and, like, did we look like this in the early 2000s, Jessica? I'm so scared.
You mean double tanks and long sleeves?
Tanks and long sleeves and bell-bottom jeans and Converse and puka shells.
We all looked like this.
God, it's
and if
so
we didn't look
bad.
like her or Will Turner, then we looked like Dominic.
That's the thing, is that I would definitely look like Dominic without the drugs, which is even worse. Like,
right. He reminds me of all the dudes like in the back of like shed, like workshop, and like that would have rolls of toilet paper stuffed with dryer sheets, and they would smoke a bowl and blow the smoke into that so that you couldn't smell the weed, and somehow that worked.
he reminds me of every, like, Hot Topic worker that would judge me for going in there because, like, I wasn't studded out with my, like, I listened to all the, like, granted, Hot Topic has changed a lot, and I commend them for their adaptability in this ever-changing market. But back then, they were playing, like, hardcore heavy metal. They only had, like, studded belts, black t-shirts, tight jeans, and band tees. But I listened to a lot of the band tees that they had, so I would go in there. And I'd get a look from a Charlie-looking dude. That's my cat. A Charlie-looking dude, and he'd be like, "What do you want?" I'm like, you know what? Just because I'm wearing my Hollister t-shirt, that's cheaper. By the way, my Hollister t-shirt was cheaper than anything you have on this wall right now. And I was looking for, you know, a Silverstein shirt or a Thrice shirt or something like that.
Silverstein. I forgot that you, though, are Abercrombie. So, you know what? I don't know that I ever got judged for going in there, although I'm very familiar with the shop girl, shop boy being judged vibe is a thing.
Yeah.
Especially, it's especially in LA. But have I shared the story that the first thong I purchased was from Hot Topic?
You actually, I think you have told me that, yeah.
I did. I have a couple of funny stories from Hot Topic and Spencer Gifts. I had a Jimmy E. World shirt from Hot Topics. Yep. Hot Topic, and I had a I Heart Johnny Knoxville crop tee from
That's
them
pretty
that
good.
I loved. It was very good. It was a good shirt. I can't think of something else. I don't know. I still have a Radiohead shirt that I got from Coachella 10 years ago. It's a tank, and it's pretty classic.
Nice.
But those band tees were where it's at, man.
Yeah, and they were like really, really tight, and like you'd wear them like really tight. Like, yeah, it's just like it
sounds like you, dude. That's a you story.
No, but they were, because like Abercrombie, they were like athletically fit. You know, they were like V-shaped, and then like tight around the arms. Like these were just small. They were just small all over. So like,
did you buy the wrong size?
I bought a medium, and I was a medium in high school. And then but the thing is, like, you wash and dry them once, and they're just like,
It's because they were trash quality.
Yeah.
But man, did they?
And they were still $35.
They were expensive. You got handed 2 20s from your dad. And that's how you were going to spend your money at the mall. If you weren't going to Claire's trying to get your ears re-pierced.
But you know what? That Hot Topic is one of the few stores in my hometown mall that is in the same place. They haven't foreclosed. They haven't changed locations. Nothing. Like,
I bet I could walk in to the Northridge Mall right now and with my eyes closed, walk into the Hot Topic.
Oh, absolutely.
And it would still be there.
Yeah.
I know where the patches are. That's a very good point. Listen, half the time, the only person that looks somewhat normal is Jack.
And that's the thing. Like, they make him such a I love everything about these two pilots. Like, one, I'd never gotten a response on Instagram. I had like 6 people DM me, like, "You've never seen Lost?" And like,
no.
I hadn't gotten a response to anything else I've posted about. And I was very excited for this. I've never seen this show. I kind of know like the spoilers of like what the island is and stuff like that. But other than that, I really don't know anything. But seeing this and seeing how they portray all these characters, this is a show of like, why isn't everybody on this island an A-list star after this show comes out? Because
I guess Matthew Fox just doesn't need to work again.
But like, he tried.
Did he try?
It felt like Hollywood tried with him because like he's in that Vantage Point. He was in the Alex Cross movie with Tyler Perry.
You're saying words that sounds like salad to me.
Well, that's like this thing. Like he was in things. He had a career after this, but other than this, like it never happened for him. And it's like he was in Speed Racer, Vantage Point, We Are Marshall. Like he had movies. But I mean, granted, I don't think anybody on this cast needs to work again. This was the biggest show. Like
Hurley never works again. Does Daniel Day Kim? Daniel Day
Kim, he's in that doctor movie, the I Am a Surgeon. You've never seen, that went viral. Was it The Good Doctor?
You mean the TV show?
Yes.
Okay. About the doctor on the spectrum?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay, he's on that? Great.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a handsome man.
That jawline. Like, I just watched Twisters, and you and Alex should go see Twisters. It's really, really good. Okay. And when I tell you that people started clapping with Glenn Powell in a wet t-shirt, people started clapping with Glenn Powell. I swear. What's
wrong with America?
It didn't erupt into applause, but it was like almost like a slow clap moment.
Was it like women in their mid-50s going, oh?
It was, but then like you heard a few younger people being like, yeah. Like it was like
yes, daddy.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. The man's got it. And Daniel Day Kim's jawline is the exact same, where it looks like he's got fillers, but that's just his face. It's just chiseled.
Gorgeous face.
Yeah.
I am so offended when everyone turns down his uni. I'm pretty sure it's uni or something because he's harvesting sea urchin.
Yeah.
I think that's what sea urchin is called. Never had it. It seems I can't do it. There's certain seafood, even though I'm like vegetarian, sometimes I'll be pescatarian because it's easier. There's certain seafoods I will draw the line on, and I don't want to eat sea urchin because it seems like incredibly cruel. But he's like trying to prepare food for people, and everyone's like, "Nah, man, I ain't never seen anything like that, you weirdo, you foreigner." Like
that's the thing is that I don't in this two pilots, other than Jack, everybody kind of sucks.
Everybody kind of sucks. Also, did you know they put buck teeth on what's her face so that she could have like a flaw on Evangeline Lilly?
Did they really?
Yes. She was too pretty and everyone needed to have some sort of flaw.
I loved her as Toriel, and that's 10 years later. Sure, it's insane how gorgeous she is.
Ripe. She's ripe off the vine.
That you should never say that again. You should know. I don't care that she is a full-grown adult, as you were saying, ripe, but that's no. You don't describe anybody as ripe, Jessica. That is bad. I don't know if it's actually bad, but I hate it. I hate it.
I'm just thinking about the one comment we got about me giving them the ick. I agree with you. I've given myself the ick.
That was bad.
She's just so gorgeous. You
were about to say it again. You were about to double down on ripe.
I wasn't. But I don't know how else to explain that she's in a prime. She's also in her prime in Ant-Man. I'm not saying she's not gorgeous, but there's something really gorgeous about her.
Age happens to us all, but it's like saying, you look at Jeff Goldblum, you look at young Jeff Goldblum in The Fly and you're like, oh my God. And then you look at Jeff Goldblum now and he's a beautiful silver fox.
That's why he's never married, because he could still get it.
Yeah.
And Evangeline Lilly can get it, but she can particularly get it in this show. That's all I'm trying to say.
Crazy.
I'm not going to edit it out.
Matthew Fox is handsome, and what's the other guy's name?
Will Turner is the character, right? Will Turner is his name.
Will Turner.
What are they? Why am I calling him Will Turner?
I don't know. I honestly, if it was Will Turner, I would have laughed very hard. Josh Holloway. Josh Holloway.
But what's his character's name?
What is his character? That's not Jack. James Sawyer Ford.
Sawyer. Why am I calling him Will Turner?
I don't know.
That's the second time I've said that. So Sawyer, which is a great character name.
Yes.
I just can't believe they put him in a long sleeve and a t-shirt. I can't believe that's...
Was he like too buff? Do you think?
No, he was very light, like he's a lithe man. Like even when I noticed that when he was talking to her after she stripped him of the gun, and he's like, "Hey, I'm turned on by that." Like he's actually has very undefined neck muscles, and he's kind of like thin looking.
I don't know. I feel like there's secret muscles under there that they like had to hide.
That may be the case.
Yeah.
Or he like buffed up during this, but like he looks real smooth. I think he actually didn't have very many muscles, but it's very possible they were just trying to hide him. It's because they really do make him look dinky. Like they make him look like a MAGA dude.
That's the thing, is that like this is almost the same thing of like, I already know that I'm going to cast Sean Bean as Josh Holloway because of the hair. Like the hair is just so bad that you put it on this very handsome man. Because like I didn't watch this, so like he shows up in Community as during one of the paintball games as like the outlaw.
Right. That's
and the whole joke is like, oh, he's got a better jawline than you, Joe McHale, and he's much more handsome. And then Joe McHale's like so insecure. He's like, yeah, you're not even that handsome. And he's like, what's wrong with you? Like, it's so great. And this is another guy that like, why didn't it happen? Because even my mom, because he's the very beginning of Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, the fourth one, and he dies. And she's like, oh, and my parents didn't watch Lost. And so my mom was even like, oh, I really liked him. Like, why isn't he bigger? And it's like such a thing that even like women of my mom's age, like, I don't know why Josh Holloway, I thought it was the dude from Supernatural, but he's not the dude from Supernatural. Like, again, all these people have careers. But like when I say why didn't it happen, it's like, why aren't they George Clooney? Why aren't they Brad Pitt? Why aren't they like Chris Evans even?
Right.
Like, why didn't Josh Holloway get into the MCU or a DC comic book movie? I don't know.
Is it because they started in TV? Like, was there still the outdated thought process of you not being able to jump that shark? Like,
I guess, because I'll always remember.
There's still stigma against that,
I don't think there is anymore. I think that's gone. But I do remember, like, around this time, I was watching Entourage, and there's like a scene where, like, Ari fires a girl for suggesting Vince do TV. And he's like, yeah, well, when Vince looks like Gary Sinise, he'll do CSI, fucking New Hampshire or whatever it is. And so that I feel like the first time was the first like demarcation that I can remember is True Detective, when McConaughey and I can't think of his name.
Harrelson.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson like did that, and everyone's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because that was like during the reconnaissance. That was like right after he won his Oscar. You can tell he's like, he's still really thin from Dallas Buyers Club, and everyone's like, oh, this is his next thing? Okay, what's gonna happen? And now there's like, everybody has a show. Like, everybody's got a show now.
That's interesting.
Like, and Meryl Streep's was in an HBO show.
Yeah, she also did Angels in America. So she did like special. She did a special series with HBO like 10 years prior to that. That was wonderful. But that was also Al Pacino was in that as well. So that was just like a special thing. The lines were getting blurred, but Lost is also happening during the era of the strike too, right?
It almost derailed it, didn't it? Like, when was the writer's strike? Like 2007, 2008?
I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
You look at, I think the third season's or the fourth season's only 14 episodes long.
It's so crazy that we saved 14 episodes and now we're getting 8 episodes of House of Dragons every 2 years. Like, what?
Let me ask you this based off of that,
man.
I know
we used to be a country, Jessica.
Let's go, Kamala. Let me ask you this: were the first 2 episodes, could they have been one? And But is the pacing good? Like based off of that? Like
I was gonna ask you that question too. I'll answer yours, but like, did these? What was their premiere dates on this? Because were these episodes like? Was it a 2-part same nighter, or was it a 2-part like next week, like coming up next week?
It feels like it's a Super Bowl show, doesn't it?
It does. It definitely, and those don't work anymore. So this was a week apart. I'm looking at the dates right now. September 22nd and then September 29th. Now part 2 with where is she? Waking up, the polar bear, all that stuff.
Right.
Other than the pilot getting sucked out Jurassic Park style and left in a tree all bloodied. By the way, shout out Greg Grunberg. That's JJ's boy. Anytime really JJ works, that guy's getting a paycheck. You love to see him.
It's so true.
It's so great. But other than that, I don't know if I would have come back for part 2. Like maybe I can't put myself in 2004 because I probably would have, but I was a big CSI Survivor guy on Thursday nights. Like that was my lineup right there. And then OC was for me. But I don't know if I would have come back on September 29th.
Here's why you would have. Because while you're watching Survivor and all those shows, you're getting pumped. The advertisement for this show.
That's true.
You see Sawyer bring out all I could think about while watching this was trying to put myself back into the memory of Lost, like the commercials and the teasers leading up to this.
Man, they spent zero money on the graphics, by the way.
I could see
negative money. That shit is in kid pics, y'all.
I could see the artifacting.
This is what is missed. We talked to when else did we talk about this? Like, I think we were talking about Rings of Power, House of Dragon, where like this is called a pilot episode. It literally says pilot part 1, pilot really part does. 2,
which is a fun pun.
It is really funny. But like for a pilot, it does look really good. So they spared some expense on Lost on the screen.
Because you know what? You don't need anything.
You don't need it.
It opens very cinematically too. Like when he like runs.
That plane crash is jarring. Like it's loud.
I'm about to get on a plane in less than 2 weeks. Alex was really excited to watch this with me because he loves Lost. Mm-hmm. Even though everyone has mixed feelings about how the season the series carries on and whatever, fuck them. Alex likes it, and so he's been meaning to rewatch it. And so I said, I'll wait for you. We'll watch it together. He gets back home from work, and I said I will watch this with you in 2 weeks after I've been on a plane. I can't watch this in between now and then. Because it's such a visceral experience being on that plane, what they've done. The crash, and then when the guy gets sucked into the engine, and then the wing crashes. Yeah,
there's a thing called a Darwin Award, and that guy earned it. Like, what are you doing, champ?
We needed him to die right away.
Yeah, because he would have, eaten all a week's rations in, a day, or, spilled the last of the water supply, or, broke the... By the way, I've never heard the word transceiver before. I had to look it up to make sure it was a word.
Is it a real thing?
It's a combination of transmitter and receiver, but I'd never heard the word. I don't know if Lost coined this term because I've never heard it before, ever.
Jack knew it, and the pilot immediately said transceiver. And
they kept saying it, so I was I don't know. It was very jarring, and I still don't like the word transceiver.
No, that's fair. It is odd. I was breaking down the etymology in my head too. I'm going, is this a thing?
Yeah.
So let's talk about Dominic a little bit. Yeah? Or anything else?
He's the biggest star in this show.
He is.
At this time. Because this is a year after Lord of the Rings. And this is the most hyped up show of all time. I know we live in a day now. The Boys, Rings of Power, House of the Dragons going on, all these things. You didn't do TV like this in 2004. Mm-mm. You had your ERs, your procedurals, your NYPD Blues, and Lost changed the game of what is going to happen next week.
JJ was giving us cinema on the small screens. Genuinely.
JJ knows how to start things better than anybody else. He knows how to start a story. Does he know how to end one? I don't know. I really don't know because it's been shown a few times that he really doesn't.
Yeah.
But the mystery box, no one does it better. No one does the mystery box better.
God, it's so true. It's so true. There was a couple times where we see Dominic. Dominic decides to go with them to seek out the cockpit, and he's like, Do you recognize me? I've been waiting for this." And I was like filling in the blanks going, "I was in Lord of the Rings."
Yeah, right.
I think I remember at the time, because again, I maybe watched the first 6 episodes of Lost. I was never part of if it was on, maybe I watched it and I was like, what the fuck is Locke doing? You know what I mean? Like I might, even if it was 3 seasons in, I would watch it. I was never part of the watch parties. There was watch parties at the time. I don't know if you had friends that were doing this, but it was distracting that Dominic was in it to me.
It is, because like even with how gorgeous like Evangeline Lilly is, with how annoying, like I was introduced to Maggie Grace through Taken. I'm sure I'd seen her before, but like,
is that the daughter?
That's the sister. This
is the annoying girl who's sun tanning, right?
Yeah, who speaks French and stuff like that.
Ugh, I hated
but
her.
Yeah, she's the daughter in Taken. And like
that's what I meant. She's the daughter in Taken.
Yeah, but just like everything she does, she cries. Everything she does, she cries. She's very good at being annoying and crying in everything that she does.
Some of us are. Some of us get cast for the things that we're good at.
Very,
and
very
she's
true.
good at that.
Dominic does stand out. Like even knowing, 20 years later, we're watching this almost like at the 20-year anniversary, and I'm sure that's coming up and it's on Netflix, so it's kind of trending right now. But just 20 years later, he still does stand out as just like, and I'm Dominic Monaghan.
I was in the biggest movie of all time.
Right? And I know all of these guys probably worked, and I know the Locke, is that his name, the old man?
Terry Quinn, yeah.
He, like, I recognize him later. He's the mayor in Tombstone, one of my favorite westerns. And like that movie is so star-studded. It's crazy.
Is this the original one that you're talking about, or is this a remake of Tombstone?
The Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer one.
He's the mayor in that?
He's the mayor.
I don't remember that.
He looks so young.
Yeah.
And same with the bad guy from Avatar, the big buff guy from Avatar.
You couldn't pay me to recognize that person.
Okay, well he's a bad guy in Tombstone as well.
I love Tombstone. Clearly because I can recognize everybody. I've seen that movie a grip of times though. It's very good. He's also basically he's an alien hunter in Resident Alien.
Oh, okay, nice.
It's perfect. I mean, he's not Locke, but it's. But
I mean, hey, you get typecast, you keep working, baby.
his like backgammon scene with Walt is incredible.
So that's the thing. Is that it says 48 survivors. Do we get to know, like, how many of these survivors are you interested in? How many stories in these 2 episodes? Like, we'll start out with our star, Dominic Monaghan. Are you interested in knowing more about Charlie?
No.
I'm not either. Like, I don't need, like, do you think,
it's
did
because
he get
of the drugs, though.
Okay, so he found the drugs in the bathroom. And obviously he's going to run out and he's going to go through withdrawals and, get clean or whatever. But other than that, like, I'm not that interested. Like, there's nothing there to really hook me about him.
I kind of know a little bit. Yeah, it's interesting because we get more of him than most of the other survivors at least in the first episode, right? They kind of like,
he's the biggest name.
Yeah, and exactly. Like they're kind of they're using the paycheck with him, and they're using the paycheck well. I happen to know, like, I remember a little bit more of what Charlie does next, not necessarily with regards to the drugs, but who he ends up like caring for, and that gets me a little bit more involved in him. So I'm looking forward to that part of the story. But they don't hint at this whatsoever in the first 2 episodes. So I've got no interest. Nothing that's happening in these 2 pilots essentially are interesting me about him, especially because we made a decision about him. He's a drug user who just wants to be recognized. So if that's what they want us to think right now, they succeeded in that. And besides the fact that it's distracting that it's Dominic Monaghan.
I do love that just like everybody's hitting on Evangeline Lilly, because how could you not?
What else could you do? It's actually very funny when he hits on the sister though too, because he's like, "Oh, if you're going, I'm going. It's great."
Yeah.
Because like, what else? I think about this often. Maybe I'm crazy, and maybe I'm just like one of those people. But if I'm on a plane, I look around and I go, well, who would I have a baby with here? Not anybody. Like if I had to, if I was on a desert island, who would I be friends with? Like, who would I fall in love with? Because you fall in love, like, it's mirror exposure effect. We were only friends with the kids in our elementary school because those were the kids that we were in elementary school with.
Yeah.
If we crash landed onto an island, those are the people you're stuck with. So who are you going to be friends with? You can't tell me you haven't looked around a plane and gone, if I'm stuck on a plane with this person, would I be happy?
I don't think I do. I think I'm just like in my own little world, because I'm not a good flyer either. So I'm just like, let me just get from A to B.
Sure.
Like I can take in my surroundings, because like when I went to Japan, I couldn't find like where like our luggage was. And so I remember like 2 rows over, there's people speaking English, and I saw them and I was like, hey, where's our luggage? He's like, oh, you got to find your flight. I was like, we were on the same flight. He's like, oh, okay, we're right over there. I was like, oh, cool.
They recognized you, or you said that?
I recognized them. Like, I was like, hey, where do we get our luggage? He's like, oh, well, you got to look of what your flight is. And where I was like, oh, we were on the same flight.
Gotcha.
And he was like, oh, well, we're right over there. I was like, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So I can take in stuff like that, but I'm not looking around being like, who am I going to bone on a desert island? Like, oh, by the way, what an amazing job to have that you're just like in Hawaii.
Hawaii shooting this show?
Right?
Dumb. These people are the luckiest.
Right? Like, what a gig to get, dude.
It's so true. It's so true. Listen, I get a little nervous on planes, so like I think about it in that way. Like if I survive, anyway. What was the question again?
I don't know.
I don't care about Charlie. I care about Evangeline Lilly. I think I somewhat remembered that she was the prisoner.
That I will say, that is the big reveal for me. That is the big reveal for me, is that she's the prisoner, because I didn't know. I thought it was Josh Holloway, and he was like, oh, he knew. That the cop was there because he was escorting the cop, and because I was like, oh, he's racist, and that's the thing. Like 20 years later, it's like, oh, of course he's accusing the Middle Eastern guy. I'm sorry, if y'all weren't around in 2004, the Islamophobia in post 9/11 world could not be overstated. It was everywhere.
So much so that there's like, it still is insidious in our culture nowadays.
Absolutely, it was terrible, and so. That would happen.
That's why he was cast. That's why, I mean, yes, this is a diverse cast for the most part. Nowadays, Dominic wouldn't be cast as the white guy. He'd be cast as some other dude, or like a female chick singer from a band. And Josh Holloway would be Latino. We wouldn't have as many white actors.
I think Josh Holloway would be a person of color. I think Dominic Monaghan would still be a white guy.
Would it still be Dominic Monaghan?
It would still be Dominic Monaghan. But we brought up earlier about like how TV didn't have that kind of respect. Because I remember even thinking that. I was like, oh, this is what the guy from Lord of the Rings is doing next? A TV show?
Yeah.
Granted, it turned out to be the biggest TV show like of all time. Right. But at the time, I was like, oh, man. Like, jobs must be tough out there. Because, you had, at the time, like, Viggo Mortensen, like, his next movie was, like, Hidalgo, this big Disney sprawling epic. Yeah. Orlando Bloom was already in Pirates. Like, you had these guys doing these things. Cate Blanchett was already getting nominated for Oscars for, like, The Aviator. Like, you had all these guys
she was in The Aviator. Sorry, I'm just amazed. Like the whole era is coming back to me right now.
It's very true. All these things happen. And so, but just like, it's such a time capsule, like this little thing in a bottle. That's what Lost is. And it is interesting to watch them set up all these pieces. But I will say, it wasn't even about the hype of the show, but a little bit of it. Like, they didn't set up as much as I thought they were going to.
I actually thought they set up way too much.
See, I'm kind of, not underwhelmed with Lost, because it's tough to judge in the first 2 episodes of like how especially with how this friggin' show goes. But like a polar bear, Evangeline Lilly's. Okay, what do they set up? What do they set up?
So they set up there's something gargantuan.
That's the thing. There's a T-Rex on the island, which I'm just gonna call it a T-Rex because Jurassic Park was also filmed in Hawaii.
It sounds like a T-Rex.
It sounds like a T-Rex.
Please don't spoil because trees. Whatever you know, I don't. Okay, great.
I only know literally the end of the show of what the island is, or what it's supposed to represent, and I could be even wrong about that.
And I think I know that too, but I also am not sure. So I think I know that as well. But I also want to just pretend I don't know anything.
Yeah.
So they set up this gargantuan thing, but there's also horns blowing. So like something mechanical exists on the island. They also set up that a transmission has been going and something killed everyone on the island for 16 years.
I thought it was like 30 years. Was it 16?
16. He 16? Said, Saeed said 16.
Got it.
And they establish that polar bears are here. That's insane.
Oh, I thought the polar bear thing was like later on. I did not know it. I remember the polar bear thing for some reason. Like I remember just the polar bear.
I didn't remember this.
But I thought it happened later. I didn't know it happened in the pilot.
To me, that's way too much. Like that's jumping the shark already. I feel like I guess one of the complaints I can kind of recall is that like there was too many twists, too many new things, like, and then it's this, and then it's this, and then it's this. Like they kept on adding a lot of weird things to the show, but not answering questions. That's what I kind of remember the criticisms being.
Yeah.
And so I was looking at it from that perspective. Holy shit, there's a fucking polar bear now. It was kind of crazy to me.
It definitely is. It's definitely crazy. And like, I don't know, because I feel like the polar bear is such like a what the fuck that they didn't need.
They didn't need it.
Because it's obvious, like, within that same scene of like, oh, well, there's your thing that killed the pilot, and the guy, and both Charlie and Jack are like, no. We were 30 feet in the air in the cockpit, and he got yanked out and thrown into a treetop. And so it's not that.
No.
And then it's not obviously like trampling trees. And so it's just like, why have that in there? But that's the thing, is that the only character mystery they set up, you don't know much about the Korean couple, Daniel Dae Kim and I saw her name. Sorry, I had the IMDb up and now it's gone.
What is going on there?
Yoon Jin Kim. Like, they don't speak English. I think they do.
I do too.
I think they both speak English. And I don't know if she's like an indentured servant, a mail order bride, or some
little, human trafficking, right?
Very, very human trafficking there. Or I don't know, like it might just be abusive husband, like with her buttoning the shirt or something like that.
Or
it could be that
husband. And it probably is that, to be fair. But it's got weird levels at this.
But that's the only thing, and that's even more so of like my thing, because like there's only one scene of like, stay close to me, like you only talk to me or something like that.
Right.
And then the button scene. Other than that, there's not much. The only really person mystery. You didn't even let
her eat, bro.
Yeah. Crazy.
I'm just saying, that's a little crazy. That's a third thing.
But just like the only real person mystery thing is Evangeline Lilly with the cop. Like, but even...
Yeah, we're getting less information about these people's backgrounds. Although we have like some insight to like Jack's probably an alcoholic. Right?
Yeah.
We're getting that. And yes, it's like a twist on what is Evangeline Lilly.
That's kind of it. And so I understand that the focus, I guess, should be on the island of like where they are, but I still need to care about the characters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Give me we also know Dominic's a drug abuser.
No, like we know certain things about
but we don't have mysteries about.
I don't have anything like what am I coming back next week for? Okay, we've established, we've crashed the plane. We've got 48 survivors. Like, I know that there's quote unquote others because they say it in The Office. Like when they go down to the warehouse, like, oh, remember on Lost when they met the others? That's all I know about them.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's the only line I know.
Jesus.
Because they all, like, Dwight always references Lost on The Office. I know. It's a very Dwight show.
That's amazing.
But like there are some compelling people, but so much is given to Jack of just being the upstanding protagonist.
Yes.
And I'm sure he's going to have flaws later on, but like from the moment he wakes up, he's rescuing people, he's pulling people out of wreckage, he's, tourniqueting the cop's leg, he throws himself over the pregnant girl to like save her from the shrapnel. Doesn't even mention that he gets hit by shrapnel. Is coaching Evangeline Lilly with 5 seconds of fear. And just like, he's just like this knight in shining armor. But it takes up so much screen time that everybody else is just like, 2004 acting of like, oh, it's so mysterious and everyone's on the verge of tears at all times because that's how it was in the early 2000s, guys.
But also, it's a very traumatic situation.
But it's almost like they kind of skip that where everyone's pretty cool that they just survived a plane crash.
This is true.
Besides Evangeline Lilly, or like even, it's Maggie Grace. But it's presented in like this annoying fashion because, she's sunbathing and he's like, oh, come unpack. Like, you got to help. And she's like, no, I'm good. Like, the rescue plane's going to be here. He's like, what's wrong with you? She's like, what are you talking about? We just survived a plane crash and we don't know when we're going to get rescued. What am I supposed to do? And it's like, it's presented in oh my God, this annoying bitch. It's like, no, dude, she's kind of got a point, but you've spent the entire other time making me hate her, that when she does have this breakdown, it's presented as like this little girl that didn't get like her ice cream from her parents or something.
A legitimate breakdown, by the way.
Legitimate
She's
trauma.
having an existential crisis about treating someone like shit that's dead now. And he's like, you fucking brat.
Yeah.
This guy too is too good looking that he's not good looking anymore. The brother,
he's the most 2004 looking mofo on the planet.
He looks
he
like
is straight out of the Abercrombie lookbook.
Yes,
he's got the ruffled bangs hair.
Man.
He's got the collared shirt with the shirt underneath. I don't think he has puka shells, but if he did, it wouldn't surprise me.
Like, he has a puka shell anklet for sure.
No guys wore anklets, Jessica.
I'm just saying.
No, like I'm telling you, as an Abercrombie 2004 boy, no one wore anklets. We had surfer medallions. That's what we had.
Did you guys have toe rings too?
No one had toe rings. What are you talking about?
I'm just trying to get on board.
Did you know any straight men in 2004? No one had toe rings.
Really, bro. I was doing theater. I was falling for every gay Asian man I've ever met in my life.
See, that's the thing, is that my high school had a huge drama program, so all the straight dudes were in drama.
Not what happened to me.
The president of our drama club got drafted into the MLB. Scout's honor.
No, I believe you.
Yeah. Like that's so funny when people always like, have that stereotype, the gay drama guy. It's like, yeah, all the jocks were in drama at my school. It's very strange.
That is amazing. Yeah, it was like literal drama that my brother stopped doing football to do plays with us too. So
who is he? Zac Efron in High School Musical?
My brother was the protagonist in all of those shows. I'm telling you.
Soren.
Everyone knew the Verdis, and we were like that prominent. He might as well have been Zac Efron for sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying we were a big deal.
So if you can put yourself in this, would you come back for episode 3? Oh yeah. You think you would?
Yeah, I'm in. It's cool when she has sex appeal. She has sex. I'm here for Evangeline Lilly.
It's like she's like it's. We're gonna talk about House of Dragon after this, and it's like she's just the hottest thing on screen. And like this is with Josh Holloway. Maggie Grace is also very pretty. Yoonjin Kim is gorgeous. Like,
The pregnant
everyone's
mama
good.
is very cute.
Yes,
too.
everybody is very pretty on screen. Like, it was very stereotypical casting in 2004. Like, you had to be skinny and good looking to be on television.
It's very true.
Like, Jorge Garcia Hurley was like, whoa, they cast
To the
a
point
big
where
person?
they have to call him Lardo. Like,
Yeah.
they had to say it.
They had to. And he has
It's
to, like,
sad.
he still had to be, like, the comic relief, where he passes out from the blood and stuff like that. But everybody else is just, like, a stereotypical actor. But Evangeline Lilly is just like, holy shit, this is crazy. Like, when she appeared on screen, I was like, because I know who Evangeline Lilly is, Ant-Man, the Hobbit, obviously. Like, I've seen her for like 10 years now. She's been a prominent A-lister. But, like, I didn't watch Lost. And so I missed that. And so when she came on screen, I was like,
and then you'll see that they put buck teeth on her to like somewhat normalize her. She's only cuter. Have we gotten to the point now of this podcast where you have forgiven me for saying that she's ripe?
no, never.
Okay.
It's like giving her the buck teeth. It's like, I don't know if you ever saw the movie Ready Player One.
Yeah, I never saw the movie.
Okay. Well, in the book, I can't think of her name.
Port wines.
Artemis.
It's a port wine stain.
Yeah, but like in the movie, it's like this it's Olivia Cook, by the way, who is, Queen Alicent in House of the Dragon.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Objectively a gorgeous person.
I didn't know that.
And I remember when she got cast.
Are you kidding? I have to look this up.
You have to look up the birthmark they give her, because she's like, this is why I have, an online profile, because no one would ever think I was pretty. And everyone's just like, oh my God, dude.
Oh, that's actually upsetting, because the whole character, first of all, Maraud's as a boy the whole time. And then the port wine stain from the book, I remember.
No, his best friend does the boy thing, I thought.
I don't think this character ever plays. Maybe. I thought, maybe I'm misremembering it. God, it's like hidden under her eye, too. Oh my God.
No, it's so bad. It's like, it's become a meme where it's just
How
like.
old is she in this, though? What a cutie.
She's so cute.
You can't even, it looks like eyeshadow. This is so embarrassing. People have port wine stains, and they're beautiful people. Don't, offend them this way.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's
but,
too bad.
Like, just seeing everybody here, and then Evangeline Lilly is just like, these go to 11. And it's just like, you didn't even need, like, it was a little gratuitous, her washing her shirt, like, in the waves and stuff. And it's just like, I didn't need that, but I wasn't complaining about it. But it's just like, I can't get over like how lucky all these people are. It's like, oh, hey, you're going to be on the biggest show in television. You're going to make millions. Probably have to work again. Oh, yeah, and it films in Hawaii.
Yeah,
we're going to go on location, by the way.
It's the dream. It's the fucking dream. Yeah. Are you ready to get to the other side of this and start casting Lord of the Rings characters?
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those things where, like, Lost has been picked apart to death. You will find no short supply of long YouTube essays about Lost and theories and what the island is and who this person represents and all these things. And we've only gotten to the first 2 episodes. So the mysteries have yet to begin to unfold.
Are you coming back for the 3rd episode?
I'm gonna try. I'm really bad with TV. I see. Okay. Just like self-imposed, I'm really terrible. But I've gotten better. I just finished The Boys. I need to go watch The Bear. We're doing our show about House of the Dragon, so that always helps. But this cast is that loaded. I'm even seeing Elizabeth Mitchell, who you'll probably recognize her if you see her IMDb photo. She's just like a staple of like really intense, network television. Harold Perrineau, the dad of Walt, is a really good actor. Michael Emerson hasn't shown up, but like he's Linus. I know he's like a big bad guy.
He actually does help move him and Locke move a piece of the plane off of the guy who was pinned.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
You see him briefly, which I thought was interesting too. Okay. These people, to pick this apart just one extra step, They should have gone through the luggage immediately.
Who's not going through, like, if we can pick some nits here, who's not going through the luggage immediately? And I'm sorry, like...
To inventory? Are you kidding me?
Like,
You don't inventory everybody's fucking snacks? We all have snacks on a plane.
And also, why are only 2 people going to the cockpit? If it is the most important mission to find this transceiver, and also, there's gonna be important things in the pilot cockpit and other, like, overhead luggage. Like, I'm sorry, like, I understand this is a tragedy, and people are dying and getting sucked into jet planes and stuff like that. It happens. But it seems like no one really lost anybody. Like, everyone that survived, everyone they knew on the plane is alive.
The black woman lost her husband, I think, but we haven't seen her deal with the fallout because she says to Jack, tell my husband when he gets back, and Jack resuscitates her.
Oh,
and we never
okay,
see
you're
the
right.
husband.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, we haven't dealt with that yet. But other than that, it seems like, as far as I can remember,
the dog's even fucking alive.
the dog is alive, Jessica. And he's just chilling. What a cat-like dog, by the way.
What Labrador retriever isn't going after the people that they see in the bush?
What dog is just chilling, existentially watching from the sidelines? I will watch these people become Lord of the Flies. Yes, my master plan has just begun to take shape.
That dog doesn't approach Jack and Kate while they're going to the cockpit. It was watching them walk.
It was watching them.
No dog ever. No dog ever.
That dog would have stayed with Jack, woken him up with licks to the face, and then been, like, attached to him, trauma bonding right then and there.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more. All right, let's take a quick break, and I'll see you on the other side, and we'll answer those Lord of the Rings questions. All right, welcome back to Lost. LOTR, POTR pod, LOST pod, POD.
You got it. Keep going.
Potter pod. That's redundant, though. Podcast of the Rings pod.
I mean, so is the ATM machine, though.
It's true. Potter
number.
pod. We'd also like to take this moment on this break to welcome in a couple more Patreon members that have subscribed. I think it's either because we're doing dual duty with Lord of the Rings stuff and House of the Dragon. We also have to take this time to thank Arsenal Roy 2K because he's at the $10 tier of our Patreon, where if you subscribe, you get shouted out during this show. And he also technically has an elven ring for being at the $10 tier.
Heck yes. Thank you so much, Arsenal.
You can still get the $100 slot that only one person can have. Only one.
Only
That's
one.
You get a shirt that says, I have this slot and all I got was this shirt.
Honestly, we'll send you that shirt every month you subscribe.
We fucking should.
Yeah.
Because it is that much money at a certain point. We should get a new shirt design every month. You know what? That's what we'll do. A new shirt every
month. It'll just have like a different number, like how many months you do it in a row. It'll just have a number on the back.
The design doesn't change.
Design doesn't change. It's like a tiny number, like somewhere. You'll never know where the number is.
You know what I'd like to do, though, too? Some of you know, like, when we get to 10 Patreon subscribers, we're going to review Lord of the G-Strings, all those things. It's going to be fun. But I'd like to issue a challenge to our audience to, like, tweet at us or Instagram us or, like, message us or DM us. Like, what is, like, part of our lore of the show? Like, like, if we were to make a poster, what are, like, the 10 things you would include? Like, you guys definitely have to have lemons because Jessica always talks about lemons, or I don't know, something like that. So
do you talk about lemons?
No, I love lemons though.
You do?
I do. I genuinely love lemons. Like, okay, like someone would draw on the poster like me not throwing trash away in the movie theater, or
possibly your greatest flaw as a person.
I throw it away. I'm just saying I wish I didn't have to.
No one wants to, but you don't. Like,
I'm just speaking the truths of millions. I do throw it away. I'm just saying there was a time where you didn't, and it was colloquially acceptable. It was in the zeitgeist. That's all I'm saying.
when?
When we were children.
No.
Yes.
No. You were still an a-hole.
My dad was, because he was the one who instructed.
Oh, by the way, speaking of your father, I just want to say, I've read like the first like 100 pages of Dune. It's boring. And they are spoiling everything. Like, I'm not saying the movie's better, because like that's like saying, oh, the Lord of the Rings movies are better than the books. They're not. They're very different, and they're much more like palatable. But the fact that like Baron Harkonnen just says the entire plot in the first chapter is like, oh, okay.
Because that's so not what it's about, Ben.
That's what happens.
I know. There's so much more to it than that.
But I'm saying, like, I know that, like, Dune Part 1 is only, like, Part 1. But, like, that's the whole big reveal is that the Harkonnen attack. And, like, it's a big surprise. And, like, oh, Dr. Yue's a spy. This is, oh, betrayal. It's like, it's just like, oh, Dr. Yue is a spy. We're going to have him overthrow the Duke of Arrakis. Oh, and we got this guy over here. And the Emperor's backing us up. And, yeah, just everything. Just letting you know everything.
Boring. He said boring. All right, ask those questions. I have no retort to that. I won't dignify it with the response, besides reflecting it back to you that you said boring.
Yeah, you also called Indiana Jones's, like, dad reveal that he's a dog.
It's acting like a dog. Because he also took the name of the dog. You know, I also thought the first chapter of The Hobbit was boring, so let's fucking go.
That's a children's book! I thought Green Eggs and Ham was
dull. Why do I create content? I don't really know.
No one does. No one knows why they create content.
Oh, I thought you meant me. Why? No one knows why I.
No, I'm not that mean.
Sometimes you're mean.
Sometimes you're mean.
Am I?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, what are questions?
What stands out as the best best moment for this actor?
In these 2 episodes?
Definitely the band reveal for me. Like when he's trying to like semi-spit game at Evangeline Lilly.
I love when he's like, I'm Charlie, by the way. That's my name. It's Charlie.
That is good. Because
it's
like,
funny.
Like, even Jack does that. He's like, I realize I don't know your name. Like, there is a part that, you know, it started to talk about Dominic Monaghan when like they kind of focus on him. Like they give him, you know, the band moment and stuff like that. But this is so very like Jack and Kate, the show so far.
Yes, totally.
And I do love that where like he's like, I realize I don't know your name after she like sews him up and saves his life.
Right.
And then when she like, you know, the monster's chasing them, they get separated. She does the 5 seconds of fear.
Yeah.
And then they reunite, and it's really good acting by Evangeline Lilly of like, she wants to hug him. She wants to like, oh my God, I'm not saying that she loves him or something, but like there's something there.
Yes.
But then she realized like, oh, we met like 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
So it's a good scene. There's some really good stuff in these first 2 episodes. I know I'm saying really revolutionary stuff that Lost is good, but
but it is good. And I think accepting that and appreciating that and just repeating that is good. It deserves to be said though, because some things maybe 20 years ago you'd watch today and you'd be like, you can't tell when, I know people watch La Brea, whether it's because it's good or it's good bad. I don't know.
Is that the one where like the world, like
yes.
La Brea tar pits sink in and they end up with dinosaurs?
Yes.
Fuck 100%. Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Keep cooking. Keep cooking.
Yeah. But you can't tell me they're going to watch that in 20 years and be like, this was a fucking great pilot. No one's going to say that.
What was it? What was the Terra Nova? Did you ever watch that?
No.
That was like the big one. It was starring the guy from his name's Lang. Like, did you ever see Don't Breathe? Where the blind guy is chasing around people in the house?
No.
Okay.
I don't watch these things.
Okay, that's fair.
Scary.
It's very scary. Very spoopy.
Spoopy.
But like that was like the big, like he was the star of it. And you know, it was supposed to have like really good dinosaurs. They weren't good. It's okay. It's TV budget. But like it lasted like only one season because it was like too expensive for the.
Okay.
But I watched all of it and I was like, oh man, what would have happened? And it's always sucks when like those network TV shows go out because like they mastered. Take note, Rings of Power. They mastered finishing a fucking season storyline and then teasing the next season. They did that. Learn how to do that. New golden age of television.
I think it's the prologue. We just have to accept that we were watching the prologue. I will never forgive. I think it was Showtime. I think it was on Showtime. It was on Max. One of those shows, Cinemax. Dead Like Me. Did you ever watch that?
The name rings a bell, but no, I didn't watch it.
No, you didn't need. There wasn't like a huge cliffhanger, but it needed 2 more seasons.
Yeah,
because they didn't wrap it up. But there was a couple there's a couple shows that I'm like, I know people feel that way about the guy who you love, Lee Pace, the show where he brings people back to life.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's huge. It's a huge show. It wasn't huge because it didn't do well and it didn't last. But it's like it got a cult little following.
Is it the OA?
Show. No. Lee Pace is in it, and he's dead, and he can touch people and bring them back to life.
The Good Shepherd?
No. And Glinda the Good Witch is in it too.
Halt and Catch Fire?
No, God.
I don't know. I'm just going down.
Pushing Daisies.
Pushing Daisies. Okay. Oh yeah. That's from like 15 years ago. Okay.
But people needed more of that, and it just got canceled. So like there was also that era where it was like, Jesus, no, you have a great fucking show. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, Dominic has like fun moments. He's definitely the comic relief, but not like in a being poked fun way at like Hurley is.
Yes.
Which it makes me sad. But Hurley's also like cash and checks because like get it, you know. Yeah. So yeah, that's my answer to that question. Good question. Next question.
Who in the Fellowship would you recast as this actor? I think I'd go Elijah.
Would you?
I think Elijah would fit in really. I think you wouldn't. I think you'd be a little more like, okay, this guy's a fucking drug addict. The minute you meet him with Elijah Wood.
With the eyes, you're like, I actually would love to see
I'm Charlie, by the way.
I disagree. I wouldn't cast him, but yeah. I think you're not wrong. I think Orlando. Give Orlando that num.
We're gonna do our recast. I think I need to come up with a new question because like we do recasting like as well as this, so I think I need to come up with a new question because like I have Orlando as like the brother of Maggie Grace. That's totally. Who I have. Yeah.
But if he's not that character, then he's cast as this. It's like the upstart like. Stinky, like.
But I think like Evangeline Lilly, like I don't know. It's like you have to know because I think 2004 Orlando Bloom. You look at him, you're like, oh, he could also get with Evangeline Lilly because like you're looking around the table and you're like, Saeed could probably do it. Josh Holloway could probably do it.
Dana Day Kim
could do it, and Jack could do it. So there's like 4 suitors for the hottest woman on the island. Charlie's not one of those people. Dominic Monaghan.
Even the brother could.
Even the brother could. And that's why I have Orlando Bloom as the brother, because, like, he's got, like, you have to know, it's almost like come on, Charlie. She's obviously already in love with Jack. Like, there's already, like, you know, that. And that's why it works where he's just like, oh, Maggie Grace, you're coming too? Well, I'm going to now. It's like,
he's also just, like, casting his line and seeing him.
He's just throwing, he's dynamite fishing, man. He's like spam texting, hey, you up? Like, you know, at 2 a.m. on Snapchat.
God, I miss the days when I could like, what do they call it when a girl like posts a little something sexy?
Oh, thirst trap?
I miss the days where I could throw a thirst trap up and get a couple good responses.
Right? Yeah.
I really do.
It's good stuff.
Because I only wanted one guy's response, but then I'd get 12 others.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Confidence boost is totally fine.
No, but I don't usually always worked with the guy whose attention I wanted. Usually,
it did.
Yeah. Oh, there's one time in particular I can remember. Just let me go down this well. There's a guy who shall remain nameless, and we were doing a Galentine's, and I'm in a jacuzzi, and I'm not even revealing anything. But the two girls behind me are rubbing their boobs up against each other while I'm talking. And this guy said, still partying to that phone.
I will say, that is the most wannabe nonchalant response. Still partying.
He's like, hey, are you guys still hanging out? It was, and this guy could get it. This guy could get anybody, anytime. He wasn't also just looking for me. He was looking for one of them or me. Like, it was, he was also dynamite fishing because I knew exactly what I was doing, too, by posting that. I was like, what's up? And without fail, got that response.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, it was great. It was good times. And ended horribly.
Does Peter Jackson directing this make it better?
Maybe he finishes stronger.
I think him directing this could make it better because it's very TV director. I think you still need JJ to write it though.
Sure. But then you have to let JJ go and not come back for the end.
What's
like
that?
Peter does great. This is when we've talked about this too, like with Indiana and stuff like that. Peter does great when he can see the whole breadth of a project and see it through. This is what bothers me about the Star Wars stuff. Just keep JJ on the fucking project.
He didn't want to be there.
And he didn't want to be there for Star Trek too, by the way. I don't know if you knew this. He didn't even watch Star Trek. He wasn't a fan. He ended up I liked what he did with Star Trek. He gets tossed these things he doesn't want to do. And
his Star Trek was basically like, I want to do Star Wars. Here's my Star Wars in the Star Trek universe.
And it's good. It works because Chris Pine's fucking charming as fuck. And
that's
Zoe's
the thing is like that. I do.
You can't miss with that.
No, that cast is fucking insane. That
you cast all those people. I don't care if you set them on in a submarine in a toilet. They will succeed.
Like that cast is so insanely stacked that like when Simon Pegg shows up as Scotty, you're like, okay, this is almost too much. Like,
that's why they had to give him this weird fucking sidekick because it's a joke. Like basically a Grogu or like what's the little guy who like fixes everything in the Star? Oh, it is. It's like that little guy who fixes everything.
R2?
With Maz Kanata, whatever. Forget it. This is another. Forget it. We need to extend this beyond the Middle Earth series to Carl Urban.
Maz Kanata is the owner of the pub in Force Awakens. She doesn't have a little guy.
No, but she takes them to somebody or like that fixes things, and he's like, gah, gah. Like he sounds like.
Oh, you're talking about Babu Frick.
Babu Frick. Yes, they give Simon Pegg basically a Babu Frick.
They do. They
give him a Babu Frick. Tell me I'm wrong. Okay, I just couldn't articulate.
They give him a Jawa basically.
The little
sand people.
Anyway, we need to do Carl Urban next. I think after Vigo. Regardless.
That's tough. So it'd be Star Trek 2009. It'd be Dread. What other movies?
And then we could throw in Ragnarok.
I guess. Let's finish this and we'll
I'm just saying Carl it would be real fun.
Carl would be great. I love Carl Urban.
I think Peter Jackson does a great job if you just let him do his thing and like follow through. I think so too. That JJ has bad follow through.
He does. He knows. I do. Do you ever watch Super 8?
No, but I was talking to. We had an interview for my other podcast on Roddenberry where we were talking to one of like the main technical directors.
That was Brandon like that's the only movie I saw in like 4DX. And, well, it was called something else back then, but like it was just the chairs. Man, what a movie! Crazy.
I get it confused with the Spielberg 8mm.
There's a Nicolas Cage movie 8mm.
No. Is this the kids? Oh, I thought that was a Spielberg movie. I have seen it.
It is JJ Abrams trying to be Steven Spielberg.
I have seen this then.
Yeah.
Okay, and I liked it. I remember liking it.
Yeah. It was kind of like Elle Fanning's coming out party.
Yes, it sure was. And I always remember that as a Steven Spielberg movie. So that when we were interviewing this guy talking about Super 8, I sat back because I didn't realize that that's actually exactly the correct movie I was thinking about.
No, yeah. It is literally J.J. Abrams being like, I love you, Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I love you, Steven Spielberg.
I love you, Steven Spielberg. Could the main characters of this movie deliver the ring to Mount Doom?
I'm not sure yet, actually. Not based off of the pilot.
Based off the pilot, I don't know yet either.
Because they have a hard enough time getting the transceiver to...
I don't believe it. I refuse until like Webster himself puts a gun to my head and says, this is a real word. I will not believe it.
This is your currency, Ben, you are just so good at doubling down on like your beliefs and your core values about these things. And
my really core values is a transceiver. It's not a word.
I'm just saying, you make me care about things I didn't know I care about. Like you do such a good job of examining the things that need to be examined.
Because, like, it's such a good script. Like, the dialogue is so good. It flows so well. And, like, yeah, we just got to go get this transceiver. What?
A fucking radio.
Like, I'm used to, like, technical jargon you want to make up. Like, again, we watch Star Trek, we watch Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. All these things have made up fucking languages and words and items and things. But, nah. Transceiver doesn't do it.
If they had a transceiver, why didn't they use it when the radio went out and they turned around instead of going to Fiji?
No, man.
I mean, maybe it was broken then. I'm just saying the pilot sure didn't act like it was broken because he's like, we need to get the transceiver. Yeah. So why didn't you guys fucking try to contact people when the actual radio went out? Anyway, no, I don't think so far that these people could get. Maybe John Locke could.
Yeah, John Locke playing backgammon probably could. Actually, he would probably be Sauron, honestly.
Was he being racist?
Oh, like with dark and light? I think he was talking about more good and evil than like actually like race or anything like that.
But it was
like a villain speech for sure.
It was that. I thought it was punctuated by the fact that he was playing with the black kid too.
I think you could definitely read into that for sure.
That's all. Yeah. It certainly wasn't him being overtly racist. I just thought it was symbolism all around.
Yeah.
That's all. Okay, so no, I don't think so based off of what we know about these people.
Yeah. What are some other honorable mentions for this actor? I don't know if there are any.
Pew! the Friendship Onion, maybe?
Yeah, their podcast. He's got 54 credits, and like he's working, and it's like a lot of them. All the hobbits do a lot of voice acting.
Sure,
they do a lot of voice. His voice
is real deep now.
Yeah, they do a lot of voice acting. So like the man's had a career. I just don't know if anything really stands out besides this.
He probably ate a lot of vagina, which gave him throat cancer, like what happened to Michael Douglas, and that's why his voice is really. So maybe that's his best work. But did I tell you that I met him and he had a pretty young thing on his shoulder? And
you know what? I go back and I don't know why you make content, Jessica.
Hey man, that's what his voice sounds like. There has to be some repercussion from going down on somebody all the time. He probably eats so much vagina.
I will say the amount of vagina all of the Lord of the Rings cast got was
pull.
Like talk about Mount Doom, Mount Poon.
Yeah, I'm the asshole though here. We're just talking about what we're all thinking.
I will say it does suck that like his other most popular thing is quite possibly the worst X-Men movie ever made.
Is he in that?
X-Men Origins Wolverine. He's in that.
Oh, baby,
a very
sweet
small
summer
part.
Child.
Yeah, pretty tough.
It does suck. Like, I think if I'm these guys, I'm totally stoked to be in the best movie ever that like will outlive me for years to come. But also, I want to act still. So yeah, like you have both things, right? Like I know Stephanie Courtney had this.
Who's that?
Had this exact like coming to Jesus about it. She is Flo. She's a fantastic comedian.
Oh yeah.
And she makes millions of dollars and can't be in a fucking TV show. She was in a TV show for, like you can't cast her. No. She had to like feel really sad about that and then come back to going, actually, I'm really grateful. And now I can just stay in Groundlings forever. Like, yeah, it is a double-edged sword. But and anybody looking at her would be like, you're rich. chill.
And that's the thing is,
but that's not what it's really about.
I mean, it's kind of what it's about.
It's partially about it.
I was gonna say, like, otherwise they wouldn't pay you millions of dollars. But yeah,
No, I guess what I mean is, it's fantastic to have now what she could probably attest to is generational wealth.
Oh, like they stopped putting her in commercials for a while because she was probably too expensive. What, like her little Jamie, whatever the second.
Is that why?
It felt like it. It felt like they were trying to get away from Flo for a while because I feel like for at least 6 months there was just Jamie progressive.
No, it was a
commercials.
couple years actually.
Was it okay?
Because I can mark the time that you're talking about for sure in my mind.
It felt like they were like, okay, let's see if the world responds to Jamie.
Sure.
It felt
Which
like,
didn't.
we've got Jamie on a rookie contract. We need to re-sign Flo to her big, her max contract over here. And they're like, nah, you got to get the star back. And so they're like, okay, they shelled out the money for her and she's worth it.
She is worth it. And, they do have funny other ancillary car guys. Like there's the other girl who's got a really interesting voice. And
there's plenty of second fiddle players, but Flo is the LeBron. Like you don't have a championship team without LeBron. And
all I'm saying is, cool, that first huge paycheck, she made progressive what it is. And you're like so grateful that you're out of debt and all those things. Like even when I was doing really well with like Best Buy, but like if that had made me so much money just to be the voiceover artist for Best Buy and I couldn't do anything else because of that sucks. It does suck. It's a double-edged sword.
But like she could finance her own small film if she wanted to.
But the public wouldn't want it. That's the thing. Because like just because she's acting in it doesn't mean the public wants it. It's a really weird thing.
No public wants a small film until they see it.
But I'm saying, like, we can't divorce Dominic Monaghan from Lord of the Rings, and he sticks out like a sore thumb. Because that's not what we want from him. We don't want him in this. Our hearts want this for him. But when we're watching it, we're like, it doesn't work.
But in the same breath, Viggo Mortensen's gone on to do plenty of things.
Because he melts into things better.
Yeah, because he's a better actor. Like, that's just what it is. Like, if Elijah Wood has had a career of being he's the most innocent boy in Frodo, and he's been a weird little guy in everything he's done since, and we love him for it. I love Elijah Wood in so many things.
Sure.
Like, of course I still see him as Frodo because that's a timeless thing, but same with Daniel Radcliffe. Daniel Radcliffe will forever be Harry Potter.
Sure.
But he's had a really good career. Robert Pattinson has completely redefined himself. It sucks that these are all men because Hollywood gives more a chance to men in, the later part of their careers. But I guarantee you, and I'm sure she's tried, but there's got to be a director out there from like A24 or Neon that will give Flo from Progressive in their weird little scary movie or something like that. Because people would fucking line up to see that shit. I know people would.
Maybe. Yeah, and there is something to be said, though, too. There's only so many things you can do if you're the spokesperson for a show like that.
That's the thing. Like I don't know what her non-compete clause is for Progressive.
That could very well be a factor as well. So, what was the question? How did we get off of this tangent?
I don't know, but I like this tangent a lot, honestly.
No, it's a good tangent. I think we could definitely tangent all we want.
It's a good tangent.
It's really hard to quantify why I'm having hard times. It's really please stop. It's hard to quantify why it's harder to watch some actors move on and others not. Like the Star Trek curse is real too, right? Like Uhura couldn't do anything else. Sulu couldn't do anything else. Spock didn't do anything else. Like Shatner really didn't do anything else after Star Trek. The only person that can possibly say they had a career is fucking Picard. Like, so there's a Star Trek curse. Who else has worked besides directors?
You mean as directors?
Well, it's like Frakes is working because he's directing Star Trek stuff.
He had the Unsolved Mysteries or whatever his show was.
Chef's kiss.
So good. I also, I know it was a director, but Leonard Nimoy directed one of the most financially successful films in, the history of Hollywood, of 3 Men and a Baby. That movie made so much goddamn money. That? I think so.
No, I think you're right. What a fucking surprise, though. No, and that man is just God's gift to Earth. He huge Hobbit fan, huge Lord of the Rings fan.
The most unsurprising news on the planet.
Bilbo. He has a song. Have you ever heard of this? He had like a record release. I'm sorry. He has a record release where he's wearing elf ears and he's dancing with 3 go-go chicks. And he's like, Bilbo.
Nothing must have been better than
Baggins.
being like a celebrity in the 80s. Because like there was no TMZ, there's no smartphones. You could just do whatever you wanted and there's no repercussions.
I
like
mean,
if you weren't doing cocaine, you were basically like sold out as like a narc. So like you almost had to do cocaine. So you're like, oh, I guess I have to do cocaine in that Studio 54 like every night.
God. Oh my God. All right, next question.
Next question is our recasting couch.
Great. Oh, don't
I know,
say
right?
that. I just started watching the Nickelodeon expose yesterday, so please don't.
Okay, that's very different.
But you just said casting couch, and they were talking about it. It just brought it forth. Is all.
I think I would have probably gotten on the casting couch to be in this show, honestly.
Ours?
No, Lost.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
Christ.
you guys, I'm coming forward and saying, Jessica, put me on the casting couch to be in podcast
Jesus
of the Rings.
Oh my God.
For this show? What a way to denigrate your own podcast for this show. This is why we do it, folks.
We know you begged to be on this show, but Jesus, we didn't ask for that. Okay, let's recast it. So I think you're right. Orlando Bloomy is the brother.
Yeah, what's the brother's name? Is he not in a lot of episodes?
I don't know. I don't remember this. I don't remember the brother and sister, to be fair. I really don't.
Wow, it looks like, okay, Shannon Rutherford is Maggie Grace, so it's got to be a Rutherford somewhere. Let me see. Oh man, IMDb really sucks nowadays. I hate the new layout.
Oh, I'm not aware. I'm not aware.
Rutherford. Oh wow, he's really in not a lot.
I'm not surprised.
Spoiler alert. Maybe I'm missing it. I don't know. Maybe they aren't brother and sister and like the show lied to us. Who knows? But
Maybe.
anyways, Orlando Bloom's the brother of Maggie Grace.
Mm-hmm.
Who's Maggie Grace?
Miranda.
Miranda Otto? I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm okay with leaving Evangeline Lilly where she is, by the way, because you know she's basically in both worlds.
I think that's fair. Good call.
I think so too. All right, Jack. Is that Vigo?
I guess. Who else could it be?
I don't think it could be anything else because I love Sean Bean as Sawyer.
Chef's kiss on that. That's you just earned your paycheck. Because the hair too, especially
the hair, and like it really like from. I think they're in the same year, National Treasure, and this episode of the same year. Like a big boy.
Yeah, I just had to go. Pick him
you
up.
have to.
Because he's also sitting in my computer chair too.
So funny. All right. So who we got as Terry O'Quinn, John Locke? I think Christopher Lee.
Oh, I think that's exactly right.
I want to see him monologuing to a young child about backgammon.
That's not how a man wouldn't scream if you stabbed him there.
Yes.
That's a good boy.
I think John Rhys Davies is Hurley.
Oh, yeah. I think that's right. Who's we got Billy Boyd. Billy Boyd would be.
Yeah, who's Billy Boyd?
Yeah, who would Walt's son?
Walt's son. Would Billy Boyd and
Walt is the kid, that's his name.
Yeah. It sucks because again, like it always the only tough part about recasting like with Lord of the Rings actors because they're all white and this is a very diverse cast.
It's also true.
It's like who are we replacing the Korean actors with? Which white guys are we replacing?
I'm taking like a step back from that one. I'm like, you just stay over there.
Yeah.
you stay cast.
Naveen Saeed. Who's gonna be Saeed from the Lord of the Rings cast?
You know what though? To be fair, actually, John Rhys Davies could be.
He could be Saeed. He has a history of doing it. You know what? That lock that in. So John Rhys Davies.
That means Billy Boyd is
Hurley. I like that. I like that a lot.
Frodo's the dog.
Elijah's
the dog. Because he also had a TV show where he had a Wilfred, the talking dog.
Okay, I think. Let's see. I think who's Ian McKellen?
I was gonna say the pilot. Who's the pilot? Let's start there.
I was gonna say Elijah Wood's the pilot.
Oh, then he doesn't live.
Yeah, he's just gone.
Yeah, sure. Okay, Elijah Wood could be the pilot. But then who did you just ask?
Ian McKellen.
Who is Ian McKellen? Oh. He's the fire marshal, the marshal that has the shrapnel inside of him.
Oh, where is she? Or like, where is she? Like, yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good. Because that would be a good reveal too. Because like you don't like recognize his face, and then he wakes up. Saeed.
No. Saeed is
Saeed.
John Rhys David.
Oh yeah, that's right.
John
Rhys
Davies.
Okay. So who are we missing? So
we have John Rhys Davies, we have Boromir, we have Orlando, we
Sam,
have Viggo.
Who's Sean Astin?
Austin.
Is he Harold Perrineau with the kid?
Yeah, it feels so wrong, but yes.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's right. Kind of not great dad, but wants to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Really trying hard. Okay, who are we missing? Who are we missing from the Fellowship? So I think we got the Fellowship. We had
the
Boromir.
Fellowship.
We got the Fellowship. Do we want to cast anybody else? Because I feel like anybody we cast, we're just replacing a person of color with a white guy.
No, it's true. Although you could put Liv Tyler in for the pregnant lady. Or the Asian lady. The Korean woman.
I think Liv Tyler's the pregnant girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
I think Hugo Weaving replaces Daniel Day Kim because they both just like.
Yeah, no, they're mewing the whole time.
They're just mewing.
I can't wait to talk about
the mewing in House of Dragon is off the fucking charts, dude.
It's insane.
This man was burned alive by a dragon. Shut up, Jace.
Even Rhaenyra started mewing. Anyway, yeah, I think that's it.
I think we got it.
All right, why don't you run down the list?
So Evangeline Lilly and Dominic
Stays
Monaghan stay. We got Jack as Viggo Mortensen. We've got Billy Boyd as Hurley. We got Sean Bean as Sawyer. We've got Christopher Lee as John Locke, which I don't think we learned his name in the first two episodes. We've got Saeed is John Rhys Davies. Michael Dawson.
That's ridiculous.
I know. I love it. It's such a good call, though. It's so perfect. Harold Perrineau, Michael Dawson is Sean Astin. The pilot is Elijah Wood.
Or the dog.
Yeah, or the dog. Dual parts, actually. Like, that's how he gets his residuals, because he comes back as the dog.
100%.
And then, what is it? Who else? We had Orlando Bloom is the brother of Maggie Grace, and Maggie Grace is Miranda Otto. Chef's kiss. And then if we really wanted to, we could make Kate Blanchett and Hugo Weaving the Korean couple.
Absolutely,
Daniel
that's
Day
right.
Kim and I can't think. I don't know her name. Yoon Jin.
What if it's that they are elves and they just can't. They don't speak like common.
Oh, that'd be good. And like their hair is always down, so you can't see their ears.
Totally.
Like what's his name? Theo. Like that.
Totally. It's really good. This is good. I like the excuse to watch Lost. Now we have an excuse because we're going to do Viggo next. And I think Viggo has enough that we actually do need to hold a vote.
Oh, big time vote for Viggo. So let's decide the 4 for Viggo right now. I'm bringing it up because he's got
Hidalgo, like you said.
I don't even know if Hidalgo's on there because he's got Eastern Promises. He's got History of Violence. He's got Captain Fantastic.
You have to put the Green Book on there just for good measure because that was such a huge movie.
It was such a huge movie. And honestly, like as much as I really hate Green Book and the fact that it won Best Picture in a really good year of movies is so insulting.
I remember that, yeah.
I find like TikTok gives me clips of it every once in a while. God damn, him and Mahershala Ali are so good. Like anybody else's hands, that movie is like a straight to Tubi piece of shit movie, but because these actors are so good, you're like, I am rooting for this friendship. It is like the Christmas scene makes me cry.
I've never seen it. It's so interest
Green
me.
Book. I'm voting for Green Book, History of Violence, Eastern Promises, and then you can pick the fourth one, Jess.
I think that's you, Hidalgo, because those are the only two names I know.
We've got The Road. We've got
he's on The Road. Oh, you have to do The Road.
The saddest post-apocalyptic
yes, you have
movie.
to do The Road.
So Green Book, The Road.
I don't know the other two. Are you sure those are as ubiquitous as you think they are?
Eastern Promises for sure. I think he was nominated for this one, and then A History of Violence is a really.
I've never heard that.
They're two. Like he became David Cronenberg's guy for a little bit, and they're two Cronenberg films. That
still doesn't push it over for me, but. I'll trust you on this. You have more media literacy.
Do we want to? I'm okay with leaving History of Violence out. Do we want to? Is The Dead Don't Hurt? Do we want to do his directorial debut? Do we want to throw that in there, or is that like too recent?
I think it's too recent, and I'd rather just do that in general.
Okay.
And I really do think Hidalgo has to be up there because it also balances the scales.
All right, so Hidalgo, Green Book, Eastern Promises, and
The Road.
That's
a huge swath of
for sure
taste or types of movies, I think. Do you want to switch out Eastern Promises with the death thing?
History of Violence?
Yeah.
No, Eastern Promises fucking rules.
I listen. I'm not trying to take away your opinion here. I just think people know the name Hidalgo. Blah 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 blah. You know. Okay, I think we did it. So keep an eye out on. We will make sure the vote goes out onto Patreon, onto Twitter, and onto Instagrams. So keep an eye out for that. If you would like to just keep up with what we're doing on Patreon, you don't need to pay. You can just become a free member. Yeah. So you can go to patreon.com/podcast of the rings. If you'd also like to hear our House of the Dragons podcast, you can do that for 7 days for free. And then decide whether you want to join at the $5 tier. So
absolutely
consider doing that. A few of you have come in that way. Save a little bit of money before you start giving us all this cash. Listen, we give you 2 quality podcasts almost every week. I think $5 is not a bad way to say that you appreciate us and also put a coffee in our hands every now and then. But that's up to you.
Nowadays, can't even buy a coffee. It's crazy.
It's true, but you can add to points on your Starbucks app. I'm just saying. It's not also one of the grocery stores out here. We save $70 by using their app. The inflation is a whole nother time we could talk about it. Everything's way too expensive. So we also understand if you can't give us money, but if you can and it works for you, we appreciate it. Ben, if they're listening on a podcast or watching on YouTube, what's a free way they could help us right now?
Leave a comment on YouTube, leave a like. That always helps, and it's really easy to do. You know, what were your thoughts on Lost? Try and keep it spoiler free, because I think we're both going to continue this show. But, you know, where were you in 2004 when you discovered this? Or did you just start watching it because it just dropped on Netflix? Because I know a lot of people are doing that. And then if you're on your favorite podcast platform, 5 stars, leave a review if you really feel inclined to. But 5 stars, you literally just like, it's just a swipe. It's just a real easy swipe. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. This was really fun. I'm really glad we decided to watch Lost. I'm really glad I did.
This was the best way to appreciate Dominic too. Also, if you find like interaction information, if you just click share and copy link on YouTube, it also tells the algorithm that you liked this show.
Ooh, look at that.
If you save a post on Instagram, it tells Instagram you like our show as well. So there's different ways you can support your favorite creators without giving to them monetarily. Ben, I love doing these shows with you so much so that we're going to record Podcast of the Rings.
This show?
Podcast of...
This show?
You're going to submit to a casting couch for this show?
This show?
That's our new slogan.
This show?
Okay, anybody.
Right.
Until next time.
May our paths meet again on the casting couch. For this show?
For this show.